Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. It's your boy Tree. We're back once again with the free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree. And we are on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So today we're on K, man. We're going to be talking about kindness. We're going to be talking about what kindness is. We're going to be talking about how to be mindful of our kindness. We're going to talk about how to develop kindness. But the main thing that I'm going to talk about is the difference between being kind and being nice. And I'm going to talk about how we get away from those differences, how we get away from just being nice to being kind and having a kind heart, and what that actually does for us up here. All right? So let's get right into it. So kindness, just off top, kindness is literally treating people the way you want to be treated. Kindness is having a heart that is concerned with the well-being of other people. Now, kindness is not bending over backwards for people. Kindness is not sacrificing for people. Kindness is realizing that you want to win so that you will find a way to let other people win too. It's not sacrificing so that other people can win. Kindness is not self-serving. Kindness is not with a motive. Kindness does not have an agenda behind it. Kindness is just something that you do. And kindness is not something that you do with an expectation of necessarily of reciprocation. But the good thing about kindness is actual real kindness is that it attracts reciprocation. It attracts people who will be willing to reciprocate. And one of the ways that you can even tell those people is like, why are you being so nice to me? Why are you doing stuff like this for me? Is because they do not understand the value of treating people the way they want to be treated. They do not understand the value of a kind heart. They do not understand that value. And don't throw your pearls before swine. Don't be kind just in the face of people using and taking advantage of you. That's what nice people do. All right? So let's talk about how we be mindful of our kindness. One of the ways is we can filter our actions. We can filter the way we think about people. First and foremost, when we look at somebody and we think about and we think about them and the thoughts come to our mind about what they may look like, how they may be dressed, the way they talk, the way their hair looks, anything like that. What we have to do is, if we want to develop a kindness and a kind heart so that we can be on that vibration and attract that into our lives, is we have to think about the way that we think about people first and foremost. We have to be discerning with our thoughts. We have to be discerning with our judgments. We have to be discerning with our criticisms in our mind. Because what happens is that when we give off that energy, what happens is when we are moving around in that vibration of judgment, of criticism, of negative thinking, what happens is that it is not only reflecting in our actions, it is reflecting in our demeanor, it reflects in our spirit. And what happens is that when we put that out into the universe, we get that back. Being kind doesn't necessarily have to be the actions about people, to people, I mean. Being kind starts with the way that we think about people. It starts with finding something positive to think about that person, instead of letting those negative thoughts be the only thing that enters our mind when it comes to those people. We don't think about, oh, I don't like the way they dress. Or we don't think about, oh, they look like this, or they weird, or they talk weird, or they talk funny, they not like me. We have to be mindful of those thoughts. We don't necessarily have to go up to that person and say anything supportive, but we have to think supportive. So that way we're putting that out into the universe and getting that back. Because nice people, they act supportive, but they think negatively. Kindness is our thoughts. Kindness is our beliefs. Kindness is not just our behaviors. Kindness is in here. And kindness also extends to ourselves. Kindness is when we look in the mirror and those thoughts start coming through and we start to criticize the way we look. We start to criticize the things that we did, or that stupid thing we said 37 years ago that just keeps running through our mind, or everything that keeps us up at night like, damn, I wish I would have done this differently. Kindness is saying, How can I learn from this? If it's something that's really just a huge mistake, how can I learn from this? How can I keep myself from doing this again? And then also, it's not beating yourself up. You have to be kind to yourself as well in here. You have to look at the actions that you've done that you may not like and say, what can I learn from that? You have to look at the actions that you've done or the things that you've said that you might feel like might have been embarrassing or stupid or put you at some type of whatever disadvantage or something like that. And you have to say, what's the opportunity here to get better? Or you have to say, you know what? I can be accepting of the fact that that happened and I can move on. That is part of being kind. When you have that kindness to yourself, it's easier to also have it towards other people. And then also inversely, and this may not make a lot of sense, but if you try it, it will. The kinder you are to other people in here, the kinder you will be to yourself. Because if you are hypercritical, if you are hyper judgmental towards other people in your mind, the first thing that's going to happen when you see yourself is you are going to be hyper judgmental and hypercritical to yourself as well. When you start looking at someone's body and saying like, oh, why do they look like that? Or why is this? Or why do they walk like that? Or why their shoes look like that? Or why their clothes look like that? Or why this, that, whatever. When you ain't perfect, when you look in that mirror, you're going to say the same shit about yourself. And you're going to have to convince yourself that you're not that. That's kindness. Kindness is up here. Kindness is in here. Kindness is not necessarily the handout. Kindness is not necessarily the giving to people. Kindness is not necessarily only the saying of positive things. Kindness is saying, because I deserve better, that means that they deserve better too. And then doing your best to give it to them. All right? So now let's talk about the difference between kind and nice. And I know we all heard this shit before. Nice guys finish last. And they do. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason that nice guys finish last. See, what we were learning about in my sociology class, and a lot of us got this wrong. We even had a test. And a lot of people in the class got this wrong. They were talking about what somebody does to get money, and they go ahead and like hack into something to try and steal money. And they said, what type of person would that be? Would they be a rebel, a conformist, an innovator? And a lot of people put rebel. The problem is that is not a rebel. The right answer was an innovator, because innovators are people who buy into the outcomes. They buy into the goals. They buy into the desires. They buy into wanting what everybody else wants. They just do not buy into doing things the same way. Now, innovators don't always have to be positive. The problem with nice people is this, is that they want the same things as the people who have a backbone. They want the same things as the people who stand up for themselves. They want the same things from people as people who won't take no shit from nobody. But the problem is that they don't want to stand up for themselves. They don't want to win while allowing the other person to win. They want to bend over backwards to let that person win, to get the same things that the other person would get. These are the people who they will say things like, I did him a kindness. These are the people who do things for a reaction. They do things for a result. And especially when it comes to guys, they do things to try and get the girl, or they do things to try and get some sex, or they do things to try and get a relationship. And that's why I've seen a lot of women say like, or a lot of men will say, why don't you get with the nice guy? Why don't you get with the kind guy, the guy that does all these stuff for you? Because the nice guy thinks the same way as the asshole. He just goes about trying to get it in a wrong way. And when you approach life, when you approach the universe as a nice person and not a kind person, what you are doing is you are the person who has those judgmental and critical thoughts. You are the person who says, you know what, I know she a hoe, but I still want it, so I'm going to be extra nice. You are the person who says, you know what? I'm going to lose this time so my boss will see that I'm willing to play ball. And then maybe later down the line, I will get something. You are the person who does things with an agenda. If you are a nice person as opposed to a kind person, you do not treat people the way you want to be treated. You treat people the way you think they want to be treated to give you what you want. And that is almost completely the opposite of kindness. And people wonder why they are so nice, and people wonder why they do such these nice things all the time, and they don't get any results. They don't get where they want to go. They don't get the outcomes that they want. And the problem is because up here they are not kind whatsoever. These are the people who will switch up on you in a heartbeat, because they are not kind up here whatsoever. These are the people you will start to hear things like, damn, he said that about me. Damn, she said that about me. Damn, she was doing this on the low. It's because up here they was doing it the whole time. The whole time they had their hand out saying, here, I got you. Here, you got this. They were counting up those things because they did not actually care. They did not care about you. They did not care about your well-being. They only cared about theirs. And they thought that bending over backwards or being nice was the way to get it. And the problem is that people can see right through that shit. People can see when someone is being nice. And the problem of people just trying to be nice for a reason, or nice for an agenda, or I'm being nice so other people see it, or I'm being nice so she'll give me some, or whatever the case, is that now we've caused an entire generation of people to look at people who are kind as well as if they are manipulators, as if they are people who are trying to get something, as if they're trying to work you out of something by just being themselves. It's because being nice is not a mentality. Being nice is a resistance to your actual mentality. It is not changing your thoughts. It is not changing how you feel. It is going against how you feel. And the problem is with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind hears those thoughts when you say that you don't like this person. It hears those thoughts when you say, you know what, this person is ugly. It hears those thoughts when you say, you know what, I actually don't really like this girl. I just want some sex. It hears those thoughts when you say, like, I hate my boss. I hate this job. And then it wonders why you're saying that you'll stay on weekends. It wonders why that you're saying you'll go help the girl move. It wonders why you're helping people with their schoolwork. It wonders why you're doing all these things for these people, because it only hears your thoughts. And it is trying to create a reality based upon those thoughts, because it knows that's what you really want. You do not want that woman in your life. You do not want that job in your life. You do not want your boss in your life, your coworkers in your life. You do not want that stuff in your life. Because up here, you are not expressing any type of kindness, any type of gratitude, anything positive towards it. You are expressing hatred for it in your mind. And your subconscious is wondering why you're doing all these kindnesses, why you are being so nice. And it's actively working against those motives that you have. Because it hears those thoughts when you say, like, man, I don't like dealing with this dude like that, but I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to be nice so I can get what I need. And it hears that and it says, you know what? You don't like this person around you, so I'm going to make sure that this person ain't around you. I'm going to put those vibrations out there so that person knows not to give you what you say you want, because I know what you really want. Being kind is treating people the way you want to be treated. It's also knowing about win, or go home. Win, or go home is something I talked about when we were talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people. Win, or go home is probably the epitome of negotiation tactics, the epitome of interacting with people, the epitome of interdependence in our interactions, in our relationships, and in our business dealings. Win, or go home says that I want to win, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you win too. And if we can't get to that point, we will leave the table amicably. That is the essence of being kind. The essence of being kind is I'm treating people the way I want to be treated. I want to be treated with respect, so I'm going to treat you with respect. I want to be treated as somebody who is valuable and valued and appreciated, so I am going to do those things for you. Not for the sake of getting it in return, but because I think like that in my mind. And then also kindness can say, you know what? I see that there's no winning with you, and I see that you don't care if you win or not either. I see that you only want me to lose, and I see that I need to extricate myself from this situation. That is kindness, because kindness goes both ways. It is kind to me and to you. Kindness is saying, I don't care if you give me anything in return. I am going to be this person. And if you are the type of person that takes advantage of it, I'm going to have enough kindness for myself to walk the fuck away. Nice people don't do that shit. Nice people give and give and give and give. And they use this energy, and they actually use double the energy because they're going against their own thoughts to give to you. They're using the energy to build up the energy to do these nice things for someone they don't actually want to do the nice shit for. It's the difference between having an actual friend and having a homegirl that you're trying to fuck, so you'll go and help her move some shit over. And she knows what you want. A lot of females act like they don't. They know what you want. They know your motives. They know which homeboys they got are not trying to fuck. They know which homeboys they got are 100%. They just like to play dumb. Because they know if they reveal that everybody could kind of sense that you're just being nice on some fuck shit, they know if they revealed that, then people would stop being nice. And they don't want that. People do not want that, because those are the same types of people. Now, if you come across somebody who's actually kind, like a homeboy you grew up with, you know he's there whenever you need him, you know, whenever you call. And also because you know whenever he calls you, you're going to be there for him. It's a two-way street. It's vibrational energy whenever y'all around each other. Because the thoughts that you have about this dude are positive. And the thoughts that he has about you are positive. These are not the people that you will hear, oh, he was hating on you. Oh, he was talking there. He was trying to get at your girl. He was doing this, doing that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. These are the type of people who hear like, oh, boy was trying to talk shit about you. Your boy knocked him out. Those are kind people, because it is a heart thing. It is a head thing. It is not an action thing. It is not a lip service thing. It is not a going against your subconscious mind. It is not a going against the things that you constantly and consistently think about to try and get over or get something from people. All right? So we've talked about the difference between kind and nice. We've talked about some ways to be mindful of it. And we talked about what kindness is. I'm going to give y'all a challenge. This is the first time that I've done this. I'm going to give y'all a way that we can kind of go about this week, and we can think about our kindness. Now, what we did last week, we did with our joy, is we started to look at our thoughts, and we started to observe our thoughts. So what we're going to do today is we're going to continue in that vein of observing our thoughts. And we are going to observe the way that we think about other people. Whether it's somebody on TV, whether it's somebody in a movie, whether it's somebody on social media. We are going to be mindful of the thoughts that come in our mind about that person. When somebody brings up somebody's name, we are going to be mindful of the thoughts that come up about that person. And we are going to separate into two different categories: the people that positive thoughts come up, and the people that negative thoughts come up. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to take those negative thoughts, and we're going to start to either just cut them off or start to replace them. And do this with people that like you interact with, like coworkers. A lot of us have coworkers or bosses, supervisors, whatever. We're going to have negative thoughts about them, right? But we're still forced to interact with them, right? I'm not talking about like an enemy or op. I'm not talking about somebody you don't fucking like, somebody who fucking with your ex dude or whatever, or your ex girl. Like, you don't have to like them. You don't have to think about that. Think about people who are going to be in your life: classmates, teachers, coworkers, bosses, your wife's sister, your in-laws, your kids' friends. Think about those people, the people that you are going to have to interact with, and start to be mindful of the way you think about them. And what happens is, whenever negative thoughts come, if you can't find something positive to replace it with, just kill the thought. So that way, when they ask you to do something, that way when they are trying to interact with you, that way when you have to, be kind and cordial to these people, it is not an effort. Because in here, you have told yourself that you are going to be kind, not for an agenda. Don't do it because you're trying to get a raise. Don't be laughing at your boss's dumbass jokes because you're trying to get a raise or you're trying to get more hours or whatever the case may be. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Would you want to be treated like that? Probably not. I mean, shit. A lot of y'all lack so much fucking intimacy in y'all lives that y'all think any type of attention or any type of kindness or any type of whatever means that somebody likes you anyway. So it's hard to say what people want to be treated like nowadays. But respect. Just keep that the baseline. You wouldn't want somebody laughing all up in your face and then going around the corner saying that nigga not funny at all, or that nigga's this, or that nigga's a bitch, or that nigga's whatever the fuck, right? Every time you do that in your mind, you're doing basically the same thing. Because you're telling your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is turning around and spinning those thoughts up into higher vibration and sending it out into the universe, to God, to Yahweh, to infinite intelligence, to whatever it is that you believe those thoughts go. So that is what you are doing. And if you don't want that to happen to you, then stop doing it to other people. All right? Man, thank you once again for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to share this. Make sure to share your thoughts with me about this. All right? Once again, it's a free hour. This is your boy Tree. Deuces.